just like that, we are rolling. Welcome back, everybody, to another very special episode. I have another very, very special guest with me, Luke Elsman.
Yes, sir.
He is a influencer, big on Instagram, big on TikTok. He's a co-host of a podcast, doing a little bit of everything. Got to meet him this weekend. We are here in, where are we, Birmingham?
I think you're right.
Birmingham in the UK.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Working for Gymshark, getting a bunch of stuff in, doing as much stuff in the week as we can. This is one of them. So first of all, thank you for your time.
Of course.
Great to meet you.
Thanks for having me. Great to meet you as well.
Excited to chit chat with you, dude.
Yeah. This is our first time officially meeting, but this is the first time we're getting to hang out.
Yeah,
you know, which has been fun.
It's been good. So we'll just jump right into it. First of all, what do you think about like the term influencer, and would you consider yourself like an influencer?
I mean, by technicality, I guess I am an influencer. I don't mind influencer. I think that like I'd be more insulted if someone were to call me a TikToker. Yeah. You know what I mean? But influencers, you know, it's by definition sort of correct. You know, it kind of fits exactly what I do. I'm an influence online. Try to be a positive one. Even though a lot of my content is like skits and humor, funny enough, a lot of people find inspiration from it, you know.
How so?
Well, I guess because I do my stuff in the gym. I am a gym bro. I do lift and stuff, and I think I just make the gym environment you know, look a lot more like less intimidating because of I guess the way I just the way I'm like comfortable with shooting and acting like a fool and then like sort of just not even acknowledging people in the gym, and not in a rude manner. I'm not trying to get in people's way, but just sort of, you know, showing that the gym isn't this like, you know, this mean place, this place where people are just gonna judge you and, you know, and whatnot, because I go in with an iPhone camera pointing into my face, and I'm, you know, putting on a character, whether it's just me being like a newbie, acting like I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm being the gym employee where I'm acting like a psycho gym employee. So me doing that just shows that like, oh, the gym isn't this like bad place where like if I walk in, everyone's gonna stare at me and judge me or and whatnot. So yeah, people, and it's just, and also just the humor, you know, you know, so many people have hit me up saying just like, you made my day, you made me smile, you made me laugh, and you know, that's what really matters to me. I
think that is huge, because I remember when I transitioned from like my sport specific training into like traditional lifting, like I'd never bench pressed until like 4 years ago.
Wow.
I was like, you go into the gym, there's 5 racks of bench, 5 racks of squats, and people are doing 5, 6, 7 plates on deadlift and squatting 5 plates. And I'm like, dog, 2 plates is like, so I get super intimidated, well, especially at the beginning, like super intimidated. But then like, if somebody's over there having fun with it or like cheering you on or like, dude, like great fucking lift.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that little energy goes a long way. So if they could see you like not making a fool of yourself, but like enjoying yourself and not caring what other people think, it's like, I could do that too. Like that is cool.
That's really what it is. And I did when I was in Miami, I met Daniel Ryjoff, and I did a podcast with him. And before the pod, we get the lift in. So my pod's called Thinking with a Pump, and it's with me and Brody Shreds. And we get the pump, and then we go and think. You know, and that's sort of like the idea. And Daniel's a perfect example of like a monster, man. He is 300 pounds. He is strong as shit, and he will make you feel good. Like, I was only doing 225 on shoulder press, which is a lot. I say only, but I know it's a lot. But he was doing 4 plates easier than my 225. And he was like, no, dude, like, that's insane. How much do you weigh? And he's comparing the weight to my body weight to the weight, and sort of like, you know, I guess like, he's not comparing me to him, because he knows the size differences and he knows what he is versus what I am, and he was still impressed and he was still hyped, and it's like, that's a lot of what the gym actually is. And it's a big misconception where like the biggest guy is like the most intimidating, or like he's gonna be like, I don't know, maybe the mean guy in the gym, right? But like they're the most down to earth, like happy to help, and like teach you the way type thing.
Because who knows, that could have been them, 10 years ago. They could have been, one day was their first day in the gym. They didn't just show up looking like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just remember like feeling weak, and he just made me feel strong.
Nice. That goes a long way.
Yeah, and I was like, dang, thanks, man, because he was doing like, what, how much you weigh? I'm like, yeah, like 180, and he's like, that's 225.
Yeah.
You're overpressing whatever amount over your body weight. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. He's like, I'm 300 pounds, so I'm doing only 105 over my body weight, and you're still doing, whatever it was. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, and I've always known that too. It's a big body weight to weight comparison.
The ratios.
Yeah, ratios. Yeah. And yeah, he does not look past that because he's so much stronger and bigger than you.
Right.
And he was excited,
because even for him, like Thor Bjorn, like I forget his name, can't pronounce it, but like the strongman, like you to him is him to some other people, and so he's not going to be like, yeah, this guy can deadlift 1,100 pounds, I can't. He'll be like, that dude also weighs 450 pounds, and like all he does is deadlift, so it makes sense.
Exactly.
So like, there's always going to be somebody stronger than you, and there's always going to be somebody better at something else than you. So like, that's the name of the game.
No, it really is. And I love that. Like it's been such a like cool experience, as my social media taken off, and I guess traveling became more of a thing. Just meeting these people, I've been lucky and fortunate enough to meet such good people, luckily, because I know there's a few bad eggs, but yeah, it's a cool thing to see, and just to meet these people, and it's inspiring too, just of all different angles, because everyone has something different to show,
Yeah, a different approach, a different audience, a different goal. Just in the same way that people go to the gym for different outcomes, like on the internet, people have different lanes that they stay in, and where we're at today, like everybody's the best at what they do, and it's cool to like everybody can feed off of each other. There's never gonna be like a limited space to the internet. Like Instagram's never gonna fill up on usernames. They're never gonna limit the amount of videos people can watch. So like if I decided to go like make skits in Spokane, like similar to yours, you're gonna do just fine, and like I might even have some success, which like I just think it's cool, and people don't think about it enough. Like, if I'm like eating food, like if I'm eating too, that doesn't mean I'm taking it off your plate necessarily.
Exactly.
Like, there's a limitless amount of views out in the universe.
Yes, and especially if you could just put your own authentic twist to it, then it's your own thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so many different things you can do, but if you could do it in your own way, it's already different now.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people all the time. They're like, how do I start posting? Like, should I post this or that? I'm like, whatever lane you decide to go on, make sure you split off a little bit into your own.
Yeah, make it yourself.
You're going in the same direction, but you got to make it a little yourself. Otherwise, you're just going to blend right in.
Yeah.
You got to have your own twist, because everybody is unique in their own way. So you're different. You know what I mean? You just gotta you just have to showcase. You have to find what that is and showcase it, and find and that's obviously one of the more difficult things is kind of finding what that is, but it takes time, trial and error, and consistency. Because if you're not consistent with it, then it's gonna take longer and longer to figure that out.
Right.
And that's with anything in life. It doesn't matter what it is.
So we'll rewind a little bit. Finding your own inspiration, like having yourself to open up like the way you are now. Have you always been like that? Like, were you kind of like the class clown in school where you just didn't care what people think, or like was there a specific moment where you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it, and then like how'd that go? How'd you get this personality and that boisterous ability in the gym?
So when I was in high school, I would never have said like I was a class clown. I think people always knew I was funny, but I wasn't. I didn't talk a lot. I was pretty quiet. Just kind of went to my. I had friends. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't like I don't want to say a loner. That's kind of mean. But like, I wasn't quiet in the sense of like I wasn't talking to anybody. But I wasn't this guy that was fooling around all the time either. I took school, relatively serious. I wasn't disrespectful to teachers or anything like that. Just my friends. Only my friends kind of would have known that alter ego.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I didn't really showcase that much. My brother would know. My close knit friends would know. But it wasn't until I graduated high school and I had to move to South Carolina is where I kind of broke out of my shell and was like, I'm going to start posting YouTube videos. And it was the break from living in my high school, where I grew up, and like sort of separating myself from that. And it was a lot easier to get past sort of like that internal judgment, thinking like, oh, I wonder what they're going to think about this. And like, they're going to think like,
because they're so used to the Luke that they knew the past 20 years.
Yeah, that too. And I think that separation obviously helped, but I didn't always have that confidence. You know what I mean? I definitely think that I spent a lot of my time, I think, from maybe 16 to 23, trying to just figure out what the hell I want to do.
Just like with life in general.
Yeah, and I've always been this funny, goofy guy. I started posting YouTube videos. I always knew I loved the gym, but I guess just, I guess I got to a certain age where I just started giving less and less of a shit of what people thought. Because you still do, even when you want to say you don't.
For sure.
You still do, and you got to let that go. And that's how I got to let go. I got to let that go when I'm in the gym filming my skits. Otherwise, none of it's going to come off the way it comes off. If I'm thinking you'll see that on camera, me looking in different directions of like maybe people's facial reaction.
Yeah.
Like I don't do that. I tunnel vision everyone out now. Yeah. I mean, it takes time though, like to get to that sort of level. I mean, again, you just have to be on it. When you do something enough times, you just get better and better at it.
Right.
Same thing with podcasting. I'm trying to get better and better at it. I'm trying to get more articulate with the words, trying to flow better, not trying to that kind of thing. Not trying to daze off too much, because sometimes I get lost in my thoughts. But I wasn't always like that. I didn't always showcase it.
Yeah.
It was definitely something
you feel it like inside of you that like wanted to come out and wanted to be like, go for it, for it, dude?
I don't know if I knew that this is what it was. As a guy, I feel like we spent a lot of time in our thoughts, and it seems like not productive, but I guess it's like Zen, sort of just like trying to figure out what it is you want to target, and it takes a lot of time of like almost, I guess for me, I was doing a lot of nothing. I was doing YouTube and I was productive in like the gym and stuff like that, but I still just didn't know what it was. And I knew it, and I knew after a certain point it wasn't just straight lifting content.
Right.
And I think more of who I am is honestly just a goofy, funny guy. Even though I don't walk around just like joking all the time, but I subtly throw little things in there. And
for sure.
As I age, obviously I'm not gonna like act a fool like when I'm around like adults and stuff, but yeah, I like to. I'm happy I got that out, and it was hard to pinpoint what that was, because you don't know what it is. You always had it in you, but you still don't know until you know, I guess.
Yeah, and then it hits you like a ton of bricks. Yeah. Do you remember the first video that you made where you were like, okay, this is it? Like where you did feel that of like, this feels right. I could do this. It's different. This is me.
I don't think there was I think it was back when TikTok started, right? When I started TikTok, I didn't hop on TikTok as soon as it started. I was like, nah, like fuck that app. Like, it's a bunch of dancers. Like, I'm not gonna get on and dance,
it was like
stuff like that.
Musically or something. At first, wasn't it?
That's all I've viewed it as.
Yeah.
And then eventually I cracked out of my shell. I said, screw it. I don't really care. I'm gonna do TikTok. I'm gonna be a TikToker now. And I started just kind of hopping on trends and using sounds. Didn't use my voice yet. And then you evolve just like everything else, right? So if you stay consistent with it, you start to figure out what you like and what you don't, what people like, what they don't. And it got to a point where like the sounds were just like, getting boring to me. Let's start using my voice. And then that's kind of when I was like, oh, this is it. I'm like, I don't even need to use music. I don't need to use music anymore. People can endure my voice. People that are not like, and I can almost be exactly who I am. Because when I'm doing my skits and stuff like that, a lot of it is improv. So I'm not like, writing out specific things because I'm worried about how I word it. And like maybe if I stutter or maybe I pronounce something different that you might not even be able to translate, I'm like, screw it, because it sounds real.
Because it's you, yeah.
Yeah, and it just, that's really what it was. I started doing types of people in the gym. And that's when I started using my voice, where it was like, Jim Bro walks into the gym, yo, what up, bro? And Karen walks into the gym, complaining or something like that. And then the power lifter, I said, yo, could someone chalk my back? Like something stupid like that. I had like different intros for different characters in the gym. And I was using my voice for like the first time.
Nice.
Yeah, I spoke in my YouTube videos, but I never really showcased like I guess, my humor too much. So
do you have a favorite character where like you can lock in the easiest, or just like what you find the most fun in?
Gotta have been the gym employee. I just lock in.
Yeah.
I just because I feel like it's just me fucking with people and just screwing with people. You know what I mean? And I it's just like it's sort of just. It's like sort of like sarcasm, right?
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. Like you're sort of like not really talking serious. You're kind of like, oh, like, welcome to the gym. Do you need? Like, I guess it's not sarcasm. I guess it's like I don't know how you would describe that tone of voice.
It's just like, I don't know, maybe like turned up so high where it's like, okay, chill, but like,
Yeah,
just like, wow, he's really
not even just
he's geeking right now.
Yeah, not even just the intensity I'm talking about. I just mean like the way I'll talk to people in the skits or the way I interact as that character. It's very like I can't find that word.
Do you feel like you kind of like just honestly morph into your character too at the time where it's like Luke is gone right now?
Yeah. No, honestly, it's just a switch.
Yeah.
Like I can kind of turn it on whenever I feel appropriate, like, and it's just like, that's like truly who I am. Like if it was just me and my brother in my house, like I'll just be screwing with him.
Yeah.
Just playing different like stupid characters and just getting a reaction because you'll be laughing at like how I just all of a sudden came back from the bathroom and now I'm just like, oh, you got some bullshit on the TV now.
Yeah.
Like, you're watching cartoons, you idiot. Like, just like it. I don't even know what it is. It's like sort of like subtle insults, but you're just like, but it's not serious, and you could tell it's not serious at all. But at the same time, like I keep that straight, like you don't break character type thing. I don't know what you would honestly categorize that as.
I think you're your own thing. Talk about like being original. There's not even like, if you can't even put a name on it, nobody else can and nobody else has. So,
Yeah.
like that's huge.
It's kind of like, you ever seen that Bobby girl? She does a podcast. She did a podcast with Drake. Yeah. She like did it in like the bed, right?
Yeah.
Remember that? It's kind of like that, sort of. Like, I don't know how you, but it's not. It's like, but she's like,
It's just like so uniquely a specific different thing of like, that's obviously a character, but like what kind of character?
it's like, it's almost like the tone of voice where you're like, I really can't think of a word. It's like really itching me.
Have there ever been any characters where you thought would be good, or like just any characters in general where you've tried and like, nah, this ain't working out?
This ain't working out. I do have some of those. I think, what did I try to do? I kind of moved past what I already known. Like again, like I said, trial and error. You have to try to know if that character is not going to work. I've done like Big Brother. I've done like Big Brother where I play Big Brother. I've done dad skits and I play a dad, like a gym dad. I walk in with a belt, chain around my neck, like I dramatize everything. Yeah. I'm pretty good at that because I can replicate kind of my dad.
Nice.
So that was always good. I haven't done that in a while. Gym Bro, that's pretty easy. There was a few characters that just did not come across. Land. Yeah, I can't pinpoint what that is or what I was going for. But yeah, there's been times where like I've tried, playing certain characters and I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like maybe it was like the tone of voice. Maybe it was just my body language, my facial expressions. Like I take everything into consideration. You know what I mean? If I'm being a dad, then I'm gonna walk with my lats out or something like that. Hey, and deepen my voice. Yeah. Hey, what are you doing, dipshit? And like think of like things a dad would say to insult someone. And then like when the Karen, like I act a little bit more like, well, not Karen. Karen, it's the gym employee rooted from a Karen character. Sort of just someone that's just gonna yap and just complain about things for no reason. And that's just like a higher pitch. Like you're gonna smile no matter what, and even though you're like being a dick, you're just like, yo, like you need help with us, like whatever. And then Jim Bro's like, yo, I'm dumb, like yo, you mind spotting me really quick, bro? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah. And
you just kind of have to like think a lot less when you're Jim Bro because I just dumb his character down.
Super airheady.
Yeah, and then I walk different. I walk with different swag, and I try to do different facial expressions, like "Yo, what's goody?"
There's a lot to go. There's a lot that goes into it, huh?
Yeah, if you really want it to display well on camera, I think it helps a lot if you can nail the voice, if you can nail the facial expressions, and then nail the walking. And I'm not saying I'm a pro. Honestly, it just comes kind of natural. But yeah, there's been obviously characters where I'm just like, okay, that didn't look all right.
Yeah.
I wish I knew. I wish I could think
Of like just
which one it was, because it's definitely happened. I've done a good newbie character too. Like a newbie character, like where it's just like, I'm just looking for a day pass.
Yeah.
I'm like scanning in. I'm like, am I good? You know, and they just act like super self-conscious and like afraid. That's a fun character. I gotta bring that back.
I think the cool thing about those characters is like everybody knows somebody that is that guy, but in real life.
Yeah.
It's like, oh dang, I know that guy goes to my fucking gym.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He killed it.
That's the best part, is like the relatability, and that's what honestly turned a lot of it into like the success it's got, that's where a lot of the success came from, is the relatability, and that's what it is. Honestly, 90% of social media. You know what I mean? If you're gonna like build an audience, they want to be able to relate to you in some way.
Yeah, that's huge.
And obviously, everyone knows I'm like joking and my stuff is humor, but like if they enjoy that sense of humor, that's relatable. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, like just the way you said that certain thing, or like the slang that you might have used, you're like, oh, that's funny. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and just like all that plays a huge role, 100%.
I want to talk a little bit about like social currency and what it feels like to be on the on your end of like a viral video or like a successful YouTube page, or you finally do find what clicks for you on the internet and you're riding it to where you are now. What did it feel like when you first started to see success from online, and at the end of the day, likes and comments and subscriptions translate into real life money, but also like the dopamine rush and the adrenaline of like, I'm doing good, and just like feeling like you accomplished something. When did you first start to feel that, and what is the evolution of a viral video, for example? Like, what does it feel like then, and then what does it feel like now? There's a lot to that one, sorry.
No, it's a good question, honestly. The dopamine's real, for sure. You know, you hit a viral video and you feel amazing. You know what I mean? And that's still a thing up until today. Mm. But there's no comparing to like where it started. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're first popping off, or like you're popping off, and you see your channel growing and the numbers growing. It's intense, for sure. And you're sort of like, I just remember being like, oh, I gotta keep going. Like, here's my snowball. It's rolling. Let me keep going. And I sort of just got like obsessed. And I was like, I have to keep bumping out. This is my chance, type thing. And that's what I always wanted, you know, like I wanted my content to reach people and get to that level. And I mean, you know, it was nerve-wracking, I guess, because if I didn't hit when I was like on my growth spur, I felt like I was done, you know, and you feel like it's over, and you're like, oh no, like I got to get back. I need to bump out another one. I got to hit this one. Doesn't hit. You know, and it kind of hits you a lot harder. Now that when you build an audience and you build that following and you have it on multiple platforms, you have a little bit more confidence now. You're like, okay, I know what it is. I've learned, like, yeah, videos are not always going to pop. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's just the name of the game. And you got to be able to get past that. And I think that's a lot. I think that's the reason. And that can happen for a month. It's just like the gym, where you could kind of fall off and you hit a plateau or you hit an injury. But like, you can let that define you. You know what I mean? You can either get back and just keep getting at it, or you could fall off, aka quit the gym and just kind of just leave or cancel your membership and be like, oh, this isn't for me. You know what I mean? But you know it's for you if you know it's for you. Right. You know what I mean? So I knew it was my thing, and when I started to pick up, you know, some momentum, I was like, this is it. You know, do or die. And I was still working at the time too, like. But I knew what I really wanted, and it was that. And I knew you had a couple questions within the question. Did I answer that decently?
Yeah. What does it feel? Did it ever start to feel like work? Like when you are in character and you don't want to be in character that day, or you're like, damn, I got to make a video today. Yes. Or like you got a video and like you have an expectation in your head, or maybe it does do really well. Maybe from an outside perspective, like, damn, like that video popped off. That was hilarious. But you're like, yeah, but I was hoping for this number, or like I was hoping for this many comments. Like, do you find yourself viewing it as more like work and having higher standards on yourself, or are you able to like step back and be like, you know what, I'm fucking crushing it.
Yes.
I'm having fun with what I'm doing. The numbers are going to be what they are. I can only control myself. Because for me, I find like half the time, like especially when I'm not doing it, or like I take a break or I'm reflecting positively, I'm like, you know what, for the circumstances, I'm doing the best I can. Great job on me.
Yes.
But then like especially like right afterwards, I'm like, damn, I wish this was better. I wish that it could have been warmer outside. I should have gotten more views on this. Like, where do you find yourself on that side of the fence between satisfied and it could be better?
It could always be better, and I'm never satisfied. And I don't know. I mean, definitely, there's definitely days it feels like work. You know, and I know it is. You know, if you want it to be something that's like your career. Your day and be good type thing, you know. But that's just not what life is. You know what I mean? If you want to grow in any aspect of your life, you got to do it when you don't. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's been days in the gym where I'm wiped. You know, I just finished my workout, just finished out an 8-hour day, and I'm like, now I got to put on a goofy ass character, because at the end of the day, it is goofy. And I'm at the age where, you know, I'm like, damn, like sometimes I look at myself, I'm like, damn, I might get like I feel like an idiot, but who cares? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, who fucking cares? You know what I mean? You're impacting so many people. Even if the video got half the amount of views, you know how many people still laughed at it? You know how many people went and like smiled after that? You know how many of your followers still appreciated it, even if it didn't pop off? You know, like Sarah would have to tell me that sometimes too. It's like, yo, like even if it didn't hit that number, you know how many people did want to see that video? Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, that's true. You know, and yeah, sometimes it does feel like, you know, work, but, you know, a lot of it is I'm so grateful to do what I'm doing. You know, I'm so grateful to sit in this room. Like, what the hell am I doing right now? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I can't complain. When people are like, how are you doing? I'm like, can't complain. And I just mean that. Like, of course I can, but I'm not going to complain out loud. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to complain to you guys. Yeah. Like, this is just, like, what I'm doing is this is awesome. I'm happy
sleep
to
later,
be here.
baby.
Yeah, I can sleep later. Exactly. I could see, like, I'm here for 3 days. What's 3 days? You know how fast the weeks are flying now? You know what I mean? Like, what is 3 days? Just get tired, but you're doing your thing, bro. I mean, there's nothing I can really complain about with this. I get to do what I love. I get to act how I want to act, and I get to work with some dream companies.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So, like, it's not going to always be a sunny day, but you know, we don't stay. Do people still work in the rain when it rains? Yeah, you still got to go to work. Figure it out. You know, that's what defines you.
Yeah, it's how you react when you don't want to be doing something. It's when you're at the gym when you don't want to be there. It's when you're fucking editing the video you think you shit the bed at. Yeah. And then sometimes those are the best videos. Sometimes those are the best workouts you could ever ask for.
Yeah, no, some of the times I thought my video was going to flop are the ones that went, like, extra viral. You know what I mean? You never really know. And sometimes it's funny. Like, sometimes you're like, dang, like, why did that one have to do good? Like, I wish they saw that. Yeah. But you can't, you can't, you know, you want what you can't have sometimes. Yep. And you kind of have to just got to learn from all these hardships, you know? And that's what I've learned really is what grows you as a person is like the struggles. It's the tougher times. It's the videos that do bad or the days in the gym that you feel weak. It's the illnesses that you surpass. It's the injuries that you surpass. You know, and if you can get over those hurdles, like I've just realized so much like mental, physical, like mental and emotional growth. Jeez.
Yeah, we could talk for hours. I feel like we're just getting settled in, but
I know.
We got a schedule to stick to. So why don't you go ahead, pick the camera. Any shout outs you got? Anything else you want to get off your chest?
Hey guys, I'm just Luke Elsman everywhere. If you want to find me, I post like some lifting content. I like to dabble in the fitness comedy space. I like to make skits. I started up my own podcast with one of my good friends, Brody Shreds, who's also in the space, where we basically just do what we're doing here, just shoot the shit and talk with the bros. So Thinking With a Pump. If you guys want to ever check that out, we're posting a new episode weekly. So definitely check us out. And thank you to Elijah for having me, man. I know we were quick on the timing. Mm-hmm. It's been hectic, but it's been a beautiful thing, though. It's been
amazing.
Awesome. So I'm happy even for a short time we got to chit chat and kind of just get into like, you know, some of
kind of the back end of things. What you guys don't see online.
Exactly. That's really what it is. Because it isn't always just like an easy post. You know, it always looks like so easy, you know. From the outsider, the same way it looks easy when you see the transformation. So just put your head down. Don't worry about what people are thinking. Do what you love. Find out within you. It's in there. Even if you don't know yet, you just need time. Sometimes it's time. You know, you can't force it out, but everyone has that thing. So
cool. Well, again, I appreciate you so much. Thanks for giving us your time and chatting with us.
Hell yeah.
Thanks all for watching. Go follow him. Go watch his videos. Check out his podcast. And until next time,
peace. Hell yeah.
I really do feel like we were just getting warmed up.
Yeah, I feel